Amanda Harriman from GroWild, where we specialize in making healthy food fun. Welcome to my kitchen. Today, we're going to make a recipe that is both wildly delicious and naturally nutritious. And it is called GroWild's Granola Butter Bark. And what I love about this recipe is that it's quick, it's easy to make, the kids can help out, it tastes amazing, and it's so much better for you than any of the processed candies that are so prevalent this time of year. So let's get started. So you're going to need 1 cup of GroWild's Almond Date Delight granola, 3/4 cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips, and 1/4 cup of an all-natural nut butter that's been heated and softened in the microwave for about 30 to 40 seconds. So the first thing we are going to do is put our chocolate in our pan, and we're going to put it over a low heat. Now, I'm putting mine directly on the heat. Now, keep in mind that chocolate can burn pretty quickly and easily. If you feel more comfortable doing this on a double boiler, that works perfectly as well. If you do put it on the direct heat, make sure that you have it on a low setting. I have mine on the number 2 on my stove. So while the chocolate is heating up, we're going to take 1 cup of our GroWild Almond Date Delight granola, put it into our bowl, along with 1/4 cup of an all-natural nut butter that has been heated up in the microwave. And all we're doing is just incorporating the all-natural nut butter in with the granola in the bowl. So the reason we heated it up in the microwave is just to incorporate the granola with the nut butter. Now, when I say a nut butter, we are using peanut butter. We're using an all-natural peanut butter that was ground at the store. And I'm sure you've seen at some of your local health food stores that in the bulk section, you can actually grind your own peanut butter or almond butter. And let me just tell you, once you grind it yourself and taste the difference, you're never going to want to buy the jarred stuff again. And what's so great about it is that it does not have any of the artificial flavors, sweeteners, preservatives in it. And the reason we're using the GroWild Almond Date Delight granola today is because this granola, actually, the flavor just works perfectly within this recipe. It's loaded with almonds. We've got toasted whole almonds, sliced almonds, slivered almonds, and 1 cup of this granola actually adds 12 grams of protein to this recipe and 8 grams of fiber. So you can see we're starting with a really great foundation for our bark. So once you have your granola and your nut butter all incorporated together, don't forget to check on your chocolate. You want to make sure that it is melting very smoothly and evenly and that it is not burning. So our chocolate isn't fully ready yet, but we are now going to take our granola nut butter mixture and we're going to put it in a 9x13 casserole dish that's been lined with wax paper. Now, the reason I am using this dish is because I feel that it just holds the bark together in a nice uniform shape, but also we're going to be putting this in our refrigerator when this is done to cool. So you want to make sure that no matter what you use, you do have enough room in your refrigerator to have this cool. So we're just dumping it out onto the wax paper, and we're just going to spread it out a little bit. It does not have to be perfect, but just make sure it's not obviously all in one area and there aren't any huge clumps. And now our chocolate should be ready. It's all melted wonderfully. It's smooth, it's silky, and just ready to go. So what we're going to do is we are going to drizzle our chocolate over the granola nut butter mixture. Now you want to be careful to not drizzle it all in one area because we are going to need to spread this around. So help yourself out a little bit by working it around the pan. Does not have to be perfect again. We're just trying to get all the chocolate out onto as much of the granola as possible. Once you have your chocolate out, we're just going to use the spatula and try to incorporate it a little bit. So you're just going to want to try to mix it up as much as possible to get all of the nut butter mixture incorporated with the chocolate. Again, it does not have to be perfect. We're actually going to flatten it out towards the end. Now I used a dark semi-sweet chocolate chip today because I like the darker chocolate and also because it does add an extra level of heart-healthy antioxidants to this recipe. If you would prefer to not use a darker chocolate, use whatever suits you best. So we're just going to take 1 more piece of wax paper and we're going to put it on top. Now, if you haven't already gotten the kids involved, this would be a good place to do so. And what we're going to do is just flatten it out. bark is supposed to be kind of a flat bar, so the wax paper really helps with flattening it out and also incorporating it all together pretty easily. And it's fun. Just make sure that when you're pushing down, you're not actually ripping any of the wax paper. You want to be very careful with it. Just try to spread it out as much as you can. And once you're done, we're going to put this in the refrigerator. Now, just a tidbit of information is that when you put chocolate in the refrigerator, chocolate does tend to absorb other odors. So if you have onions or garlic or last night's leftovers, you're going to want to make sure you cover your chocolate up. As for today, we have it sealed between these two pieces of wax paper, so we don't have to worry too much about that. So we're going to put this in the refrigerator. And it needs to cool for at least 2 hours, up to overnight. Now, this is a batch that I made yesterday. You're just going to take the top layer of wax paper off. And you can actually just pick it up by the bottom layer of wax paper, and you'll see no mess in your dish. And then you can cut this up with your knife if you want to have polished edges, or you can break it apart with your hand. That's fun too. It's so good. I'm just going to try a piece. It's really good. The crunch with the oats and the nuts and the peanut butter and the chocolate combination is fantastic. To learn more about GroWild and print this recipe out yourself, log on to GroWild.net. I do hope you'll enjoy making your own GroWild granola butter bark, and wishing you and your family a fantastically frightening Halloween. To learn more about GroWild and to print out a copy of this recipe, log on to GroWild.net. I'm Amanda Harriman from GroWild, where we make food that is wildly delicious and naturally nutritious.